Episode 18 of the Chomp Chain podcast is brought to you by Madame Fiona's Fairy Tale Furniture Emporium. Princes and princesses alike, your wicked woes of home furnishings end here. Yes, yes, my dearies, mattresses for matrons, pool toys for patrons, gardens and grill goods and kiss-the-cook aprons, unicorn rocking horse toy chests and dining room sets. At Madame Fiona's, the price is the best. Sofas and footrests, a bippity-boppity bookshelf for $2.99, poof, $1.99. It's magic! Let down your hair before our vanity mirror. At $3.49, it's the fairest price of all to be the belle of the ball. Once you set foot in our enchanted showroom, you will be Captain Hooked. Look, a genuine beanstalk bureau bedroom set, elegant and fine for $9.99. Poof, $7.49. Oh goodness, I've done it again. But wait, don't miss our limited time Prince Charming special, a giant fucking TV for $1. Visit at Podcast Chomp for a full listing of all of the magical deal at Madame Fiona's Fairy Tale Furniture Emporium.
Steve, Joe, Dylan, Steve, 1, 2, 3, 4. Chomp Chain with a Chomp Chain podcast. Chomp Chain with a Chomp Chain podcast. Chomp Chain with a Chomp Chain podcast. Chomp Chain with a Chomp Chain podcast.
Hello and welcome to episode 18 of the Chomp Chain podcast. My name is Chris and I'm here with Joe. Say your name, Joe.
Hey, what's going on?
We talked about this. Damn it, we were probably going to be professional.
I missed it.
All right. And Joe. And
Steve.
And special guest and Chomp Chain superfan Mike. We got 3 mics in the room.
Howdy.
Now you guys might remember Mike.
Wait. Oh, I just
from
You didn't get that joke?
yeah. No,
I get it.
You guys might remember Mike from episode 1 when he was in the background while we were recording. Now he's back as an actual guest. In the flesh.
Most importantly, he agreed with me on the digital thing.
Yeah, he did. In the episode 1, Joe and Steve argued about digital versus physical. Mike fell on Steve's side. 18 episodes, guys. Can you believe that? It's almost 19 episodes.
Dude, the podcast can finally smoke butts.
Yeah.
In America, at
Yeah,
least.
it can buy porn and it can smoke butts.
Actually, you can't buy cigarettes until you're 21 in Stoneham, where we live.
In
Live there.
Stoneham only?
No, they're
One of us.
not
Yeah.
just Stoneham, but like there's like town ordinances.
Mike lives in Stoneham.
Yeah.
Is that two? Then.
It's new, but like from a few years ago.
So new-ish.
It's newish, yeah.
I want to say thanks to our sponsor.
Madame Fiona's Fairy Tale Furniture Emporium. Yeah.
Yeah.
She's great.
Where do I go to learn more about it?
You go to @podcast.
Mike, you got to get
Chomp.
on Mike.
Yeah.
You got to mic up.
He's there.
Where do I go?
You go to twitter.com, of course. Search for
Yeah, don't be afraid to lean like right as close as I am into the mic.
yeah. We get friendly in here.
We do. We get
A
friends.
lot of podcasts would tell you to do that before they started recording.
Yeah.
That's not our style. That is not
There
our
we
style.
go.
We figured
Dude.
it's been a cluster since the beginning. Let's keep it a cluster.
Yeah.
Get up in there.
Wedged in between
Give
you
Steve
two.
a
And
little,
it's awesome. No, I like it. Don't
Yeah.
stop.
Pinch Steve's cheek
All right,
a
so
little
you
bit.
can reach us @podcast Chomp for all those sweet fairy tale deals
on Twitter
on Twitter.
or
Yep.
Chomp Chain Podcast on Facebook. I've been trying to be a little more active on Facebook.
You have been. It's
Same, I
Um,
wrote my thoughts on Norman Reedus saying he wants to do more work with Hideo Kojima and Guillermo del Toro.
yeah.
I think I nailed the pronunciation of that one.
And the manga guy. What's his name?
Yeah, Junji Ito. Yeah, I guess.
Yeah,
that's his
yeah,
name.
yeah.
Killer.
So, hey guys, all right, video games.
Killer boots,
So
man.
this is I don't know what I was gonna say. Video game week. That's not
It is
true.
though.
I mean, every week's video game week.
Mario Tennis.
Mario 10. That's yeah. So
Did you get it, Joe?
No.
How great is it?
Did you see
Scale
the?
of 1 to 10. 11, right?
Yeah, in my opinion, that's all that matters. Because if you listen to this show, they'll know that Mario Tennis is my favorite Mario game.
Is it?
Oh yeah, 100%. I've been saying that since episode 1. It's the best Mario game.
Do you know anything about Mario and Luigi Paper Jam?
No,
Really?
I like know of it,
you've caught my interest.
but
yeah.
but it's no.
I'm disappointed now because I saw that on a list of like 2016 upcoming titles.
It's a 3DS game.
Yeah, and I was like, oh, that
It's-
sounds cool, and I don't want to know. I was gonna look it up, and I figured I'd ask you about it, but you don't know
No,
anything. 'Cause
I
you're
no,
worthless,
no.
So I just should've.
I shouldn't say I don't know anything. I'm not. I guess you. I took the question wrong. I do know of it. I am not interested in it.
You're not.
No.
You thought it was. Don't you like Paper Mario?
I've only played the first one.
Oh.
But this isn't a full Paper Mario.
Is it? What is it?
It's Paper Mario mixed with like Mario and Luigi, Super, whatever. Remember those games on Game Boy Advanced?
Are they like mini games and?
No,
stuff?
they're like I don't know how to explain them. They're like full-fledged Mario
They're
games.
like paper jams.
But they're paper jams.
Oh, okay.
It's just two different Mario games combined into one, and it doesn't look too great.
All right.
But I mean, it's probably going to be fun. It's just not really something I'm
For
into.
such a Nintendo super fan, you don't seem to be looking forward to too many Nintendo titles.
No,
It's not his
most
fault.
Nintendo super fans
You know,
are in the same position.
what I'm
as
looking
me.
forward to is buying a Wii U in 3 days.
He's buying the Wii U, ladies and
Waiting for my
gentlemen.
paycheck. That's not just an arbitrary number of days.
So, are you targeting a specific bundle, or are you just going
Not
to
yet.
buy the system?
Not yet. I'm gonna get it off Amazon because I have Amazon gift cards. That's the crux of this purchase. But I don't know which one to go with. There's not just a standard system you can buy. It's all bundles, so it's all a little bit more expensive. I can get it with like Mario Kart preloaded in, but there's also the Mario Maker bundle, and that's looking pretty good. There's one that looks like it's a Super Smash Bros. Bundle, but it's not. It comes with the game and like a bunch of controllers and stuff, but not the system, and it's $250.
Yeah, it comes with the game in the GameCube adapter, which is actually like necessary if you're going to get.
If I get the Super Mario Maker bundle, it comes with a Mario amiibo, so like that's incentive right there, right?
yeah, and it's
No
like,
Luigi.
It's
but
like it's no Luigi, but like beggars can't be choosers, and I do have both Luigi.
it's a
amiibos.
great game though. So I mean, you should do it. What games are you looking forward to playing though?
I'm gonna play all the Zeldas that I've missed pretty much in the last few years. New one. What's that?
Well, that's not coming out for a year.
Yeah,
but-
no. Twilight Princess. There we go. And
This
then
isn't the newest one.
Wind Waker. No, I know, but all the ones that are like now going to be like available to me that
You're
previously
gonna miss
weren't.
Skyward Sword, don't you? It's not on.
Is that on the eShop?
It's coming to the eShop. I'm not.
Alright.
Honestly, I haven't been on the eShop in a while.
Oh,
It might be on there now. I know it is coming in the future, but it's not going to be upscaled or anything. It's going to be the same exact thing.
I've
But you
heard
can play it on the gamepad, which is
that if you really wanted to play those games, especially Skyward Sword, the best way to do it is with an emulator, because
cool. Yeah, Dolphin, and you can
they're
upscale the graphics.
Well, not even that, because the graphics are like HD, but the Wii just can't do them, so they look shitty.
Yeah, I
So
mean,
it's like if you played it on a computer that could run HD, it's gonna look
Yeah.
awesome, but you'd just be. Not
it's called.
really buying
I
it.
have Dolphin. I played Galaxy briefly at an upscaled on upscale graphics, and it looked pretty good. But
it's the same situation with Melee. Melee can run at 60 FPS, but not on a GameCube. So in Dolphin streams, that's why like if you ever watch a stream on like VG Bootcamp, the ones that run on Dolphin are 60 FPS and they look like
didn't know
super crisp.
yeah, that's
Mhm.
cool. Actually.
Yeah, it's the same thing with photographs too. Have you ever seen like the remastered, or like they'll say like HD photos from like I don't know, like 1901 or 1902? It's because the film themselves were like very very high quality, but the process,
the device to use, yeah,
the
right.
process to like turn that into like a photograph,
archaic and shit.
yeah, wasn't there until recently.
But yeah, I remember when the Wii U first came out, people were saying that eShop Wii games were upscaled. Or no, I'm sorry, backwards compatible Wii games were upscaled to like 1080 or whatever the native resolution is. But that's not true. They just thought it looked better because maybe it did a little bit, but it definitely didn't upscale it to 1080p. Like there's no fucking way it did that. But I don't know.
Don't be quiet.
If you're gonna get a Wii U, I think the first game you should play if you haven't played Wind Waker is Wind Waker HD, because that's the best experience I've had on that console by
Wind
far.
Waker is an experience.
It is. It's a
Fun
great
game.
fucking game. And had you played it before?
I never have. No.
Either of you, Mike?
No, but Wii U was my first.
Oh,
one.
sorry. You were talking to a special guest and Chomp
Special
Chain
guest.
super fan, Mike
Yeah.
10.
All right.
And can I just say, Lexington looks a little bit different
In real life.
than I'm used to past few days.
Yeah. It's definitely a little different in real life.
This is his first Fallout experience. He's never played any Fallout game before.
It's funny when we were doing it last time. We weren't saying kept making references to Fallout. We didn't talk about it. We should have kept doing it. You guys had to ruin it.
Well, no,
But
I
yeah,
mean,
let's talk about how
it's-
Mike's first Fallout, which
Yeah.
is interesting.
What do you think of the game? Like, because all of us went into playing Fallout 4 with with some experience behind us. We know how the game operates for the most part. And I've been talking to Mike about it for like ever because I knew he had never played it. And what do you think? How do you like it?
Yeah, I mean it's my first, but if it makes sense, like it's what I expected, I mean, played Elder Scrolls and all that. You know, I'm used to Bethesda styles RPGs. So, I mean, I haven't played Fallout before, but I went into it with an expectation, and it is basically what I expected.
Do you like it more than Elder Scrolls?
I'm not ready to say that yet.
How many of those did you played Skyrim?
Yeah. Oh, I played the hell.
Did you
out of Skyrim.
play anything else?
No, I
Okay.
played a bit of Oblivion, but not enough to really have an opinion on it. But no, I mean Skyrim was my jam. Love that. I hundreds of hours into Skyrim. But I mean
thousands maybe.
maybe not thousands. But I think the only game I've put thousands of hours into is
Warcraft.
oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
But no,
we've talked Warcraft here before.
Oh yeah, I listened to the episode, the Warcraft story.
I told you he's a Chomp Chain super fan.
I know.
Also related to you.
Yeah, he is.
But yeah, Fallout. I mean, I can definitely see it becoming one of my favorite games for sure. I mean, it's excellent so far. But I mean, I don't know. There's a big difference between 30 hours and hundreds of hours.
300. Yeah. Well, if you had to change one thing about it, what would it be?
I mean, it's kind of elitist, but I'm in the graphics aren't really what I would thought they would be.
Well, you're coming off The Witcher 3,
right.
which is like the most beautiful game of this year.
Yeah, and I mean, I guess that has something to do with it, and the fact that I mean, obviously the game had been in development since they finished Skyrim, so I mean, I get why it looks how it looks. It's just
It's like a 5-year-old engine.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, put it this way: the graphics aren't holding me back at all. But I mean, if I had one complaint, that would be it.
Well, it's good.
You know, it's funny.
What about the voice acting?
Well,
Sorry.
I was just
You were
to that point. Last week we complained about the voice acting so much that I feel like I got it out of my system, and I don't really care anymore.
See-
I like don't hate it anymore.
Well, you guys just saw me play a part of the main story where the voice acting actually enhanced the experience.
Yeah.
The whole "fuck you, Kellogg" thing.
Spoilers.
That's not really spoilers.
Fuck you, Kellogg.
That's not spoilers at all. They'll know what I'm talking about when they get there. That means nothing to new players. He says "fuck you" to somebody in a really pissed off way, and it like made my fucking night.
Right to that box of cereal's face.
Yeah, he was like, "Fuck you, Special K. You suck."
I had the same experience.
It made me very happy because when I saw the option to choose that, there was almost a part of me that was like, I'm not even going to do it because he's going to say it, it's going to suck, and I'm going to be disappointed. I might as well just pick this guy's brain and learn more about the story. But I was like, no, fuck this guy. I'm actually going to tell him to fuck you. Or tell him fuck you, I should say. And when he said it, I was pleasantly surprised because it sounded like how I would say it if I was telling Kellogg, fuck you.
I'm not. The voice acting doesn't bother me except for my character's voice, which I mean is obviously the most important.
Right.
But it's. I mean the voice acting aside from my character, I mean it's fine to me.
See, I am mostly on board with that. But since we played the other ones, I feel like the voice acting, even for the NPCs, it's not as good as it used to be. Because I feel like they're focusing on the conversation between your character and the NPC to make it sound more real. But in the other ones, your character didn't talk at all. He just had dialogue options. You didn't hear him say it. So it was just the NPC just reacting on its own. I thought they sounded way better in the other games. But
I think like if it was just if it was the exact same dialogue system as previous games, but they were fully voice acted, I think I would be more open to it. But the fact that it's that like Mass Effect Witcher style of dialogue options where you don't see exactly what you're gonna say, coupled with the, in my opinion, subpar voice acting, it's like just a little bit. I mean, that's definitely still the biggest gripe for me in a game that I really love. But if it kept at least one of those elements, I would like it.
We got a
more.
Fallout where your character talks. We got a Metal Gear where Snake doesn't talk. What's going on? 2015. What's going on?
There's actually a PC mod for that dialogue now.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah. You
Oh
can
yeah,
see
yeah, yeah. So
exactly
instead of
what-
saying like yes, no, it'll tell you what the guy's actually gonna spell out in Fallout.
Right.
Yeah, yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Spell out. Yeah,
Well, they're gonna.
yeah.
They're definitely gonna make a mod where he's silent. There's no question about it. It'll be the exact same thing. They can just like mute his voice and take off the, the cinematic cutscene where it shows him actually speaking.
Which I believe is already an option to take off like cinematic mode during dialogue scenes.
So that mod is definitely gonna be here soon because I can't think that we're the only people who would want it because I would install that like the second I saw it come out. The mod where it has him say exactly what he wants, that is cool. It's a step in the right direction, but I'm just gonna wait until he can just be silent. Honestly,
I would probably do the same, and I don't like how if you have any sort of dialogue option that's related to your skills or your special, it's just yellow. I did love how in New Vegas, if you had, like, say, a high intelligence skill, you would have your normal dialogue options. Then you'd have an extra one with in brackets. It would say intelligence or science or whatever. I liked that a lot.
I know exactly.
Steve definitely doesn't.
I know what
No.
Steve is about to say.
I was gonna say
It's not always yellow, right?
no, it's
Steve?
not. The harder it gets, the darker it gets.
Yep.
So it'll
Right.
be yellow, and then it'll be dark yellow, and then it'll
Right.
be red.
Like the more dehydrated you get, the darker your pee gets.
Right, same thing.
It's completely different.
And then if it's red, then you got serious problems.
yeah, you gotta check.
Then
for
you get no chance.
That's not dehydration. That's the kitty issue.
That's just like go to the hospital.
Yeah.
But no, right when you said that, I saw Steve's eyes light up because he was over there just like patting the Dr. Pepper pillow, kind of zoning out.
Big mistake.
And then Dylan's,
No, I'm not patting-
yeah, you're gonna get
I'm
glitter.
not
all
patting the glitter part. I know. It's the
Okay.
bottom.
Well, either way, I saw you like your eyes lit up
when
and
I
you were
went-
like, "I'm
sorry.
ready."
I went to an area and I was talking to a guy and I got the first one and I was like, awesome, like I'm gonna get more money. And there was another one. I was like, oh shit, I managed to get that one too. And I was like, sweet. And it was the right one. I was like, I should try it. And then like it fucked me over. So I was like, no, I'm going back and just like not taking the third one.
I've noticed that even with yellow options, I rarely succeed in convincing
Yeah.
people. It's
Is there
very
a green?
It's because
very
you're a
hard.
meanie and everyone knows it,
I, mean,
Joe.
I don't. Maybe if you have 10 charisma, you might. I only
Well,
have 3 charisma.
I haven't seen anything above like just your standard yellow.
So I'm saying, but how high is your charisma?
I don't know off the top of my head. Not very high.
So
I,
if
I don't
it's-
think.
if
I think
it's
I'm at like
10,
6 or 7 now.
If it's 10, you might have. It might just be green because people will just be like, yeah, all right, here you go.
Yeah, I know, but I just feel like even if it's just yellow based on the color base, I feel like I should be succeeding more often, and I just never do, ever.
Yeah, I just think that like I like the color scale, and I think that's interesting. But they seem like they're all charisma checks, and
are.
yeah, like I liked that there was a science check, an intelligence
Yeah,
check,
no.
like a speech check,
Depending
like
on what you
specific-
were talking about.
Yeah, I missed that a lot.
I see what you mean now.
Three
Yeah,
of
I
that, too.
agree.
Right.
Three
You
did,
don't
yeah.
need to be this like charming, cool guy to get what you
Right.
want. Like maybe you just need to know a ton of shit about
Or
computers.
be
or,
evil, like in 3 when you can go to the slavers, and if you have
Oh my
if you have
God, with
evil
the collar?
charisma,
Oh,
if you have evil charisma, you just like, yeah, I'm gonna go in there. Like, yeah, all right.
Yep.
Like Walker, come on,
And they
anybody.
think you're a fucking boss.
and then
They're
you
all.
destroy everyone in there.
That's where you get the slave collar, right?
even in
Yeah.
stuff like in Mass Effect, which actually I'm pretty sure I've complained about in the past, but thinking back, like the more evil you are, the more good you are. You have extra actions that you can take based on like.
Well, I mean,
I know that's not like
Not really.
charisma or whatever. Well, you can like.
those are just in the game, though.
Are they?
You can if you played Mass Effect neutral, which I don't think you actually can. You
Yeah,
can
no.
still punch someone in the face if you wanted to, because the thing just pops up no matter
That's
what.
good.
Because you can be good. Because I've done it before when you're a good guy and they are bad options, and you can do.
Yeah,
them
yeah.
no
No,
matter
you're
what.
right. Okay, you're
Like,
right.
oh, what's his name? Kai Lang is an evil thing.
I've also noticed, or I haven't really noticed, but I haven't seen the built-in karma system really work in any way. Like, I know that it doesn't say that you're necessarily good, evil, and neutral, but I'm assuming that the decisions you make are gonna, alter what NPCs think of you or say to you. And I have not seen that at all. I feel like everyone's like experience has been very similar with NPCs in the main quest especially. And I've been trying to be really mean, like as hard as I can, and it just hasn't changed the way people look at me. And that kind of
Yeah.
pisses me off.
In the situation that you were just in, I won't spoil it, but it was a main quest, and it was like had to end in one of you killing the other.
Right.
And I was in that same situation. I tried to talk my way out of it, being like, "No, it doesn't have to go this way, but it does have to go that way."
Right.
So, these NPCs, they're basically you're interacting them with in one way.
It's just a one-way story. And I feel like in the other ones, it was very, very different depending on how good or evil you were. And I really missed that. I really missed that a lot.
What do you guys think about not having an actual numerical karma system? To me, it doesn't matter. I've never played any.
It actually gives me more freedom, I think, to do whatever the fuck I want. Because in the past, since I've always tried to kind of play as a good guy, I wouldn't do certain bad things. Like if they were like maybe I'll do I'll kill one guy, but then I'm gonna like go soft on everybody else because I don't want it to affect my overall karma score. But now I'm just like, well, if I don't want to fucking be around this person, I'll just take him out. Like it's just lets me play it like I'm playing The Witcher, like moment to moment, or every scene is a different thing for me. I'm not just good guy or bad guy. It's a scene by scene basis.
I miss it. I miss it a lot. And that's one thing I actually will say I miss about New Vegas is that the faction system was cool with Karma because
The look on Steve's face.
The
when
car
he said
system
that.
sucked in New Vegas. It was the worst part of New Vegas.
I thought it was good because
No, it wasn't, because if you killed a bad person, you
I-
got good karma.
I liked that.
That's
I
awful.
liked that.
That means the only way you could play as a bad person was to join with Caesar's Legion.
Yeah,
Not
no,
true. You didn't have to join with anybody. If
No,
you joined with
but-
nobody, you would still get bad karma.
No, but
that's
if you,
how I
if
played.
you killed a Caesar's Legion guy
You would get
with
good
no,
karma.
yeah, I don't
Yeah.
want that.
Then just don't kill Caesar's Legion. That's all.
But then what happens if they attack me? Because they attack you randomly out in the waste.
you just run away.
But I'm not going to do that.
Plus
Or
it
if
was-
you're evil enough, you kill them, and the good karma really won't mean anything. You just go kill some random person.
Yeah, but I liked in 3 where it was just like I could help Megaton and still be the most evil son of a bitch in the world, and they had no choice but to accept me.
Listen,
Whereas in New Vegas,
listen,
it's
listen.
like,
If we're
oh,
com-
you're NCR, well, you automatically get good karma.
if
'cause
we're
you're doing good
comparing
quests.
gold to silver here, Steve, I'm gonna pick
It's
gold.
gold to bronze.
Fallout 3 is definitely better. But all in all, I didn't like the factions in New Vegas, but I did like how karma played a hand in the
I didn't.
factions. I thought that was cool.
I mean, I don't like New Vegas
And
at all, so.
like, who the Brotherhood of Steel? Let's say who was their biggest enemy? Probably the
the-
Institute, right?
Well,
in this game.
Yeah.
which game?
In this one.
4?
Yeah.
Yeah, probably. Institute.
So if I kill an Institute member, is my rep with Brotherhood of Steel, or am I going to be looked at as a good guy with them and as a bad guy with the Institute, or is it just not going to mean anything? I feel like it's just not going to mean anything, that
I mean,
sucks.
I don't know because we're not far enough along to know if it. The thing is, I don't listen to the radio in 4 yet, so I don't know if he says stuff.
He
the
does.
DJ. So he might.
He does.
Does
He
he-
gives you like a synopsis of what has been going on.
Yeah. So
But it's
maybe
not
it'll
as
change.
like the thing is though, it's not as like detailed as what Three Dog would say.
Yeah, well, 3 Dogs is better.
Travis goes on the radio and he's like,
Yeah, that guy's a wimp.
Yeah,
although no, if you do a quest that I already did, he gets
I did it
confidence
too.
and he becomes smooth. Travis,
Uh,
it's actually pretty sick.
I haven't heard him since doing the quest.
Oh,
actually.
dude, it takes like a day or two.
Well, that's
because
good.
after I did the quest, I went on to see if his confidence was up, and he was still being a little fucking nerd. And then, like a couple days later, game time, he was like, "Hey, everybody, how's the wasteland? Hope the Commonwealth folks are doing all right." It's like he
Yeah.
is. I don't know.
That-
fucking
just
some
start
50s
quivering.
artist. Yeah, yeah.
No, that's-
the
that's-
panties just go flying. It's incredible.
That's good because I thought that Three Dog, while I loved like the personality of him, he
Don't
was-
talk shit about.
I'm
Three
not.
Dog
I'm just
Dylan.
saying it was like I would go clear out Super Duper Mart, walk outside
And the
of Super
second
and
later-
he's already telling my story, and
Yeah.
it's like, who told him about that? Like, how did that
Happened
someone?
now. It
Yeah,
didn't,
that
it didn't
literally-
happen a minute ago. It happened now.
Yeah. So,
Happening now.
but going back to like the factions thing, I'm somewhere in the middle of you guys because Steve, like, I obviously we disagree like fundamentally on New Vegas, but I agree with you that like. It was silly how for a game that like in a lot of ways was pretty deep, you had the NCR. If you finished with the NCR, you were good. If you finished with Mr. House or just the robots, you were neutral. And if you finished with Caesar's Legion, you were evil. And I feel like the one thing I never did in that game was the Caesar's Legion quest line because I didn't like them and I just never wanted to play a fundamentally evil
it was fun.
character.
It was really fun.
I'm sure it was, and I think that someday I'll go back and do that. But I totally miss how like if you were if you were NCR or if you were Caesar's Legion, NCR would attack you on sight.
Yeah,
that
is
was
cool.
that was interesting. Like I'd like to do some things to piss off the Brotherhood of Steel so that they would come after
That's
me.
what I'm saying.
And-
That's the one thing I miss about New Vegas. That's it.
And I think that dude, that's
But
a
that goes
humo-
back. That goes back to the karma system, though.
They're linked kind of because the karma system was broken, but the faction system was fine. Like it worked really well. You could be okay with the Great Khans and
The Great Khans were the shit.
The Great Khans were cool, but they were small time. They weren't
The Boomers, or
The
whatever.
Boomers,
fuck
yeah,
they were
you
called.
could be okay with the Boomers, and like that would affect. I think only your relationship with them.
Do you know the story behind them?
Yeah. That little girl told me the whole thing in the mural.
Wait, what?
And the Boomers, if you did you even do it? How do you know
Yeah,
the
I don't
story?
remember. I don't remember like the.
You
quest
go into the
line.
museum and some little kid.
I
thought
read
was
it
a girl.
online.
Oh, some little kid. Like there's a mural on the wall, and they go through and like tell you the whole.
They just weren't they
lore.
just a vault with just, and overseers just loaded the vault with like fucking explosives and like wanted to see how much they would kill each other.
That's not. Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
That must be like what it actually happened because if I recall correctly, it was like they hoarded all of the like the vertibirds and all of the like flying technology and then
You know what they are.
what
No, I'm talking to
Oh.
Sorry, I made a face.
about
At
vertibirds?
vertibirds.
It's the helicopter.
You've seen one. You got
Yeah.
one of the Gatling gun out of one
Yeah.
beginning of 4.
Yeah, I found this page online. I don't know how legit it is. I think it was pretty legit though, and it was talking about the factions and how the vaults that some of the people in those factions like grew up in affected how those areas were. And the boomers, it was like they put them in this small ass vault and put a shitload of explosives and guns in there and just like saw them kill each other. And they ended up being these like fucking crazy freaks that were obsessed with like bombs and explosives and stuff.
If you go within a certain distance of them in New
Yeah,
Vegas,
they bomb the shit out of you. It's wicked
which
cool.
is cool. The other thing about New Vegas that I loved was that you could, if you were wearing an NCR outfit, you were in disguise as an NCR member. So even if you weren't aligned with them, you could then trick them into letting them onto your base and then switch. Like little things like that.
It didn't work all the way though. If you got too close to them, I'm pretty sure they noticed that you weren't real and they would attack you.
No, you're right. But
They
like
know
I'm
you're
not
a
saying
poser. They would know you're a poser.
Yeah, but that's
Right.
almost kind of a good thing because it makes it way more realistic.
You're like, this guy doesn't
It's
even
not
know
like
seeing red by minor
it's not like
threat.
Ben
If you
Affleck
have
from
that-
the town
if you
when
have
he
that
dresses up
cool-
as a cop and everyone's like, "Hey, he
Yeah, but
fits
if you
right
have
in."
that cool cloak and helmet, how are they gonna know you're not the real one? If you have a whole full face mask on, they're not gonna know you're not real.
Body language.
Yeah.
Body language of a poser.
Everyone has the same body language in Fallout.
They're in
New
the
Vegas.
club for a reason, Steve.
No, you're right, Steve, and I'm not saying it's perfect, but I do think that New Vegas is a better RPG than Fallout 4.
It's a hardcore role playing game for sure.
It is. It's definitely, and
Um,
I think that's why I like it more.
You know what I miss from Morrowind?
Everything?
When you get, I mean,
Cliff
I used to
Racers.
collect heads of the guards. Remember the guards in the golden armor?
Yeah.
When you have a certain bounty, they just spawn like basically endlessly and come to try and kill you. So I'd take their helmets, not their heads, but their helmets, pretend they were heads, and then line them up in my house of all the guards
they
that I
weren't
killed.
really their heads.
Well, I was just taking their helmet off. You can't cut a person's head off.
The way you said it to somebody who's never played made it seem like you could.
Yeah, well, I just took their helmets and pretended their heads were still inside them because to me that's what their faces looked like anyway. But I would do that, and then after a certain point, your bounty gets so hard that people are just like, "Oh, hey, it's you. What would you like?" Like everybody's like super afraid of you because you're infamous in Morrowind Vardenfell for your crimes. And I wish that there was something like that in Fallout. Joe, like you killed everybody in a vault, and you're a madman, but then people would just like make one move and you're dead. And it's like, no, you wouldn't talk to a guy like that in that way. Right, they don't know, but it would
The
be
wasteland is a different animal, though.
cool. Right, it would be cool if people started to know, and then people are like, oh shit, is that him? Rumors get around, you know?
Yeah, they do, but you gotta understand, the wasteland, everyone thinks they're bad.
Joe, you deserve some respect.
I
in the
do.
West.
I agree with that, 100%.
Would anybody ever talk to a Dark Brotherhood member?
There you go,
Like that?
True.
You know?
Nobody would ever even see a Dark Brotherhood member.
The thing is,
They'd
though,
be dead before that.
Listen to me. I haven't played a ton of Elder Scrolls, but I feel like the world and just the society is a lot different than Fallout, obviously.
because it's a functioning society.
Exactly, with a government and shit. And word gets around because word can get around. But in Fallout, word can't really get around, and everybody's just protecting their own neck. So people are going to be like, I'm the badass. He's not the badass. Like, everyone's just assuming everyone else is a badass. Because you have to be a badass, or you wouldn't be there in the first place.
Yeah,
And-
but I think a guy who lights up an entire vault.
Yeah, but how do they
He's a
how do they
special
know
kind of
that is what
badass.
I'm saying. How do they
You
know
left
that
somebody alive.
I guess realistically they would have heard the gunshots, but I don't know how. You probably
No,
wouldn't.
the
have.
vault is a very
Yeah, I was
secure
gonna say,
place.
they probably wouldn't have heard anything.
Once that door is shut, you're not hearing shit.
Yeah, 'cause they
That's the
don't
whole
know.
point of the vault, is to keep the outside away.
Because they don't know. You just walk out. You could. I mean, realistically, you'd
I
probably
would be covered in guts and blood.
But
And I was on drugs. I was probably
yeah,
shaking
you
like a
probably
man.
tweaked out.
Yeah.
They were like,
I don't know how I haven't got addicted to Psycho yet. I've taken it a lot of times.
I think it's just like picking some addictols. You're all set.
Is that all I have to do?
Addict
You just
dolls.
you take that and then you're all set. Yeah.
It's that easy in this one? Are those in other ones?
I don't know if it's in 3. It might be in New Vegas.
I don't think it is in 3 because when you got addicted to something in 3, you were addicted.
You had to go to a doctor.
Yeah, you had to go to rehab and you had to buy another game. It was crazy.
I feel like my character in 4 is definitely not like some insanely notable guy. At least not yet. Like, I don't think I've done anything that like has shaped the world, so it makes sense that no one really reacts to me at all, except in Diamond City because of the article that was written about me.
Yeah, true.
My guy just looks like John Marston now.
Yeah.
So he just runs around yelling like, "You couldn't shoot a fart out of your own ass." I don't know if he says that in Red Dead Redemption, but
He does, yeah.
I put on a faded fedora, and I was like, I don't want to wear a fedora. But then I put this one on, and I was like, it looks like John Marston's hat. And I like go into third person, look at my guy. I was like, he looks like John Marston. I'm Rad Dad Redemption, dude. I wrote it on every piece of social media because I think that's really funny.
Me too.
I thought it was funny because it was what it is at first, but then if you really think about the game and like the quest
that's
you're
why I
on,
used it.
it's actually really
much
good.
more. I'm smarter than you guys. As I mess up my grammar, I'm smarter than you guys give me credit for.
Have you guys seen the Hulk Hogan meme?
That's so
I'm
funny.
not gonna nuke this Commonwealth, brother.
It looks exactly like
Best
him.
one I've seen yet.
So, Chris is buying a Wii U.
I sure am.
Are you gonna buy Splatoon?
Maybe.
Splatoon.
Do you have Splatoon?
I don't.
Oh,
And I've kind of the reason I've been holding off is I want someone else to get it.
right.
So
Well,
if you just got an extra 60
It's not
laying
gonna be
around,
my first game to get because I got a lot of other ones to pick up.
The reason you're holding off is because you've only played it once.
I've never played it. Oh no, I did
yeah, you
play it.
have.
Yeah, but I was hammered. We were so drunk playing the demo.
Typical Joe.
No, I think you wasn't Chris there.
I don't think.
Where was it?
My brother Mike's house.
He might have been.
I don't know. I didn't know because I didn't even know Mike had a Wii U.
Oh.
I knew he was a
it
Chomp Chain super fan, but
It was like it was one of your friends, and we're playing it, and we're just like wasted, like very very drunk, and I'm like, I cannot figure this game out at all. I couldn't pass the tutorial. Not that I didn't think it was fun, and I turned it off.
skipped it when he played
I
Rocket League.
literally could not even play it. I had no idea how to play, and ever since then I've been a little bit turned off. But I've seen great things online about it, and I kind of want to get it. So Chris, you should probably get that and convince me to play.
Yeah, maybe I will. Who knows?
Maybe
Let me
you
borrow
will.
your Wind Waker so I can test it out.
Digital. Yeah, you can get a
Steve approves.
Yeah,
Steve approves.
He's got his thumbs up. You can get a digital copy on eBay for like super cheap. I don't think they make physical versions anymore. They're
They do.
wicked hard. No,
They're
wicked
on
hard.
Amazon.
Are they?
Yeah,
Are
Amazon and Nintendo repaired their relationship.
The one.
Indeed.
The one relationship they've repaired. I guess. I don't know.
You know, hey, so talking about Cloud being in Super Smash Bros.
Oh wait, can I say one thing about that?
Okay.
Last episode I said Cloud was a fan voted character. Turns out it wasn't.
Okay.
So
We were all wrong.
We were wrong. And in the December Direct, they're going to be talking about the first fan voted character.
Okay.
So that says a little something about Sakurai
I actually.
in how he picks his characters, because he obviously is a huge Final Fantasy.
Well, that's great. I want to talk about that because Final Fantasy VII was the dividing line where Final Fantasy was exclusive to Nintendo. It was on Super Nintendo for 1, 2, whatever, up to 6. And then Squaresoft was like, we're going to be going disc-based, so let's do that moving forward with the console. And they're like, no, we're staying on cartridges for N64. And it was then that Squaresoft split from Nintendo, and they're like, we're going to go work with Sony because they're going discs. We have these big games we want to make. We can't fit our shit on your cartridges anymore. And they basically haven't had a good relationship since. Yeah. This Cloud being from the game that split the two, it's more symbolic than really anything else.
So you think we'll see a Final Fantasy
That's
on
what
NX?
I think a lot of people have been saying, like, maybe NX will have a Final Fantasy now.
Yeah.
I hope so.
the
I bet it would
Hopefully it'll be a good one.
I know, because like Bravely Default, although that game has its faults, it's a better Final Fantasy than we've seen in years. It's just a turn-based RPG. You can pick your classes, and it's like old
that
school
Square?
Final Fantasy. Yeah, it's Square.
They're making a sequel coming out, actually.
Yeah, Bravely Second.
Yeah,
it's already out in Japan, I think.
But yeah, so clearly Sakurai has some sort of pull with Square. That'd be cool. I would
be nice to see them mend their relationship.
Yeah, it would. And honestly, I'd probably check it out because I haven't ever played a Final Fantasy game, and if I'm going to play one, I don't think I'm going to play it on the Super Nintendo.
I think if you're going to play one, it should be Bravely Default because despite its ridiculous name and its story that you might not care about,
people really like it.
The gameplay is really cool. The class system is really cool, and you can fast forward through battles. Like you still have to do your commands and stuff, but you can hit the fast forward button and then people will just do stuff. You don't have to sit there through long animations or anything, just like in Fire Emblem. You can also
you got to turn that off.
You can also turn off random encounters. In Pokemon when you're walking through the tall grass every 2 seconds you get in a battle, but maybe you're just trying to get to the store and you don't feel like fighting anything. In Bravely Default, you can just turn those off.
That's cool.
Or you can turn them up and make them double. So every step you take,
if
you get into a battle.
If you're grinding
so if you're trying to grind, so it gives you both.
Yeah, that's cool.
I feel like it's actually a pretty good beginner RPG for that reason.
Yeah, I mean, I've looked into some Final Fantasy games. A lot of them are on Steam now, but I just have never really been interested enough to actually pull the trigger. Because if I'm playing a game for 30 to 40 hours, a turn-based RPG just kind of gets old after a day. Honestly, the only one that I really liked.
You played Undertale, isn't that?
Yeah. And that's something I was just gonna say. That's the only one I've recently played that I
Fire
really
Emblem's
like.
not too far off.
No, but there's a lot more strategy involved.
And you're basically just doing the strategy battle part of it.
That's what I enjoy about that.
I got you.
But Undertale, yeah, that game was great. But that game was fucking like 8 hours long. It was perfect length. By the time I beat that game, I was like, I'm satisfied. That was really good. I'm happy I played it. But if I got to the ending point of that game and it was like, wait, there's more, I probably would have been a little burnt out and been like, yeah, I'm kind of bored with this. That just doesn't hold my attention long enough. I need big games.
Sure.
Even though I don't really play big games. I only
games.
I only play Fallout. Because every time a big game comes out, like The Witcher, talk to Mike about that. He's always like, oh, you got to play The Witcher. It's a great game. It's awesome. These big AAA games, they're probably great. I just know I'm going to get it. I'm going to play for fucking 3 days, and I'm going to stop playing it. The only franchise and series that I get up for like that is Fallout. That's it. That's all I have time to play.
You're not getting out of bed for anything else.
No.
You even have a Steam backlog full.
I do.
You already own them. You own a bunch of them, and you're just
Not a bunch of them.
reluctant to play.
Some of them.
Do you have The Witcher?
Not necessarily.
Come on, Joe. Stop being so cryptic.
Not being cryptic. I'm just not trying to sound like...
Of like a pirate. Anyway,
Yeah.
I was going to ask you guys,
Exactly.
this is off topic. I was thinking about it a few minutes ago. I forgot to bring this up last episode. You ever like run into some sort of video game something in like outside situations? Like somebody brings something up in a situation you're not expecting.
Like hardcore and non-hardcore
like,
places.
Yeah, like when Dylan, when you and I, my first day working at the company that you used to work at,
Yeah.
we had this like big company-wide meeting, and we're standing there, and then somebody's ringtone goes off, and it's the alert sound from Metal Gear Solid, and that's like while you're playing through Metal Gear for the first time, and I'm a
Right.
super fan over here, so we just looked at each other like, no way, it's my first day there, we're hearing that, like it was just funny.
Still never found out who that was.
Never,
right?
no, I have no idea.
That sucks. Why
I,
didn't
just-
you
I
go-
walk around that building, looking at him, like, who's that motherfucker? Who's the nerd with that? But what I wanted to bring up was when I was in college. There's this guy. He was around a lot. He was a little bit older. I think he went to school there like part time, but he also worked at the school. I don't know. I never really knew him very well.
They worked out a deal.
But
Like, come mop some floors.
my
give you-
freshman year, there was like
Yeah.
my freshman year there was like a lounge that was really far away from everything else. It was on the second floor of his building. It was like above where the cafeteria and stuff was at my college. So anyway, it was just far away from everything. Nobody was really up there, and that's why I liked hanging out there. It was like me and a couple other guys, and there was like also a super secret bathroom like far off down there too. So I go into the super secret bathroom one day. I'm at the urinal peeing as you often do at urinals and bathrooms. I'm standing there minding my own business. This guy comes in. I don't look at him. I don't care. This guy comes in. He goes to the urinal next to me. Now, there's always this code where like you're supposed to go like 2 urinals away, but there's only 2 urinals in here. He doesn't need to go into the stall. We can deal with it. We're adults. So I'm standing there, I'm peeing, and this is a long pee because sometimes you want to just finish up and get out of there, but you have no choice. You're just peeing. I was holding it for too long. It's my own fault. So I'm standing there, and this guy's standing there next to me. He's very small, so it's hard for me to even see him over like the barrier between the urinals. But then he goes, "Hey." And I'm like, oh, God. All right, here we go. I'm like, hi. And I'm just peeing, like, pee faster. Come on. Like, let's get this over with. 'Cause this guy's already bridged this weird gap. But I don't know, like, maybe he's about to be like, oh, that's leaking or something like I don't know what he's about to say. But he just goes, do you like video games? I was like, yeah. Like, I don't know, like, what's about to happen. He goes, do you have a PSP? And I was like, no, I don't have a PSP. He's like, I just got a PSP. It's really cool. I was like, oh, all right. Like, that's cool. He's like, man, you should probably get a PSP. And then he starts talking about whatever game he was playing. And I was like, man, like, I'm not trying to be mean. I was like, is there something like, maybe not.
Asperger's? You can say.
I wasn't going to say, well, yeah, but I thought, well, okay, maybe but no, I'm pretty sure this dude was just weird. He was just a strange guy who decided, you probably look like, man, I had long hair. He's like, you probably like video games.
Probably have a PSP.
But he was like, he just started talking about PSP and like Grand Theft Auto or something like that on it. And I was like, all right, man, like, cool. And then I just like bailed. I didn't even wash my hands. I was like, I'm out of here. I'm not sticking around. This guy's gonna like try to marry me or something. Because I broke through the barrier by saying yes, I play video games. And then like 2 days later, I'm eating lunch with one of my other friends, and he's about to go to class. And this video game guy comes down, he appears out of nowhere, and he was like, hey, he says my friend's name, and I'm like, oh, they know each other. Maybe he thought that he knew me or something like that. Like maybe my friend said that I liked video games, and my friend goes, oh, hey, what's up? And then he's like, oh, I gotta go to class, and he leaves. And this guy just sits down with me. he was like, "Hey, so you ever like imagined what what your all-time like coolest video game would be?" And I'm like, "Oh no." Here we go. And he starts telling me, he's like, "Well, I'm in talks with Rockstar North right now. This game where you can be anyone and you can do anything." And he gave off like examples of like people you could be. So like you'll be playing in, like New York City, and like anything can happen. Like a dragon could appear, or like you could go into a coffee shop and order a coffee. And like you could play as Gandalf the Grey from Lord of the Rings, or you could play as Neo from The Matrix. Those are his 2 examples. I'll never forget that. He's like, "Yeah, so like I'm trying to talk to like Rockstar North right now and like get them to like get this idea. I think they're interested." Like he emailed them. Like it was just this. I was like, the licensing alone for those characters
Sounds just like GTA with a bunch of mods.
Yeah, basically. And that story doesn't really go anywhere. But from then on, this guy, I realized he had an office. He had his own damn office set up. And every time I would walk by his office, he would look up. He'd perk up. Like, "Hey, do you like video games?" Like, come please. And, dude.
He definitely listens to this
Straight
podcast.
up, like, if you're out there, straight up, like, 3 years later, I was a freshman. My junior year, or senior year, whatever it was, I see this guy again. And I'm walking into that same bathroom, and he's filling up his water bottle. And I come back out, and he's still filling up his water bottle. And he goes, "Hey, man, do you like video games?"
No.
He asked me again, and then this time I knew. He forgot. I guess he forgot I had a different haircut. I don't know. Years had passed, and I said no. And then I just kept walking.
PSP guy, if you're listening, Chris would love to.
I would
love
love
to get back in
I
contact.
would love to have you on.
I would love to see if you own a PS Vita. Maybe there's 3 of us who have one.
So do you think that he just kind of went around asking anybody?
Dude,
Do you play video games?
I don't know. I think he didn't have a lot of friends. So, really, I'm not trying to make fun of this guy, even though I kind of am. He was just, you just sometimes paths cross in life, and that's just what it is.
Sometimes streams cross.
Sometimes streams
We're
cross.
about to lose a Twitter follower. I got a feeling. I got a strong feeling.
Orbit Beard, was it you? Was that you?
You want to get to the game?
No, we live in different countries. What?
Let's get to the game.
What, the quiz?
And now,
It's a quiz.
Presenting
the Chomp Train video game quiz.
the risk game.
So, okay.
Risk.
I haven't been talking enough yet, guys. I've been talking the whole time. That's the joke. Okay. So, I thought...
There's sticky notes and fucking.
Yeah. So I was going to just read the back of the back cover of video games to you guys,
But
and be
instead,
like,
you solved the quantum paradox.
instead I was just like, I'm just gonna describe the games and then have you guys try. Yeah, I just did a bunch of mathematical equations, and here's what I found. I decided I would describe the games in a silly way, a glib way, and then you guys, it would be up to you to guess which games they are. So
Are they like? Come on, how obscure are these games?
Most of the games I think are games you've played. Some of them, go a little
Some
bit
of them
off.
are games that only you and Steve have played.
Yes.
Just say it.
Yes.
Okay.
That's
so
fair.
so should it be like you say it and then we'll go around like a horn and say what we think it is,
wait,
and then you can.
I'll just let you guys decide.
I think
how
that's
you
a
wanna
good
play
way
it.
to
Yeah,
do it.
let's format it, because if we don't, we're just gonna be yelling over each other.
Yeah.
Let's
And we
go-
can't huddle because we're sitting at this table.
Let's switch it up. Let's go counterclock this time.
Oh fuck, dude.
Fuck that
All right, Mike
clockwise.
goes first then.
Yeah, counterclock. I like
So,
going last.
Steve-
Yeah.
Although
Steve, I read 2 of these to you.
going
as
last kind of
practice.
stinks, because if you guys get them right every time, I'm just not going to be able to say anything.
Well, you don't know if we got him.
Yeah, just he won't say who's right until the end.
Oh yeah, true. Okay.
Yeah, that way. And then you listening at home, you can play too.
Yeah, follow us on Twitter
Now,
at
okay.
podcast.
The risk game. Yeah,
I just need to say that I wrote these at work,
That's where all the best shit comes from.
like in between doing other things, and I did read these out loud earlier, and I realized that I just missed words while writing. I didn't type them; I wrote them with a pen. So, it's my first quiz. All right,
Is this
guys.
the
I've never
20s?
administered a quiz before. That's actually not true. In 4th grade, we read Harry Potter, and I brought in a quiz for the teacher to give to the students.
So now was it
because
Goblet
I
of
was a
Fire?
nerd, because I was a kiss ass.
Yeah, so there are 2 I can't answer on here.
Yes.
So
Because I read them to Steve last night to be like, does this work? And he was just like, no. But here we are.
Of course.
No, Steve was kind of nice last night. Okay. Joe, don't look at Joe. Stop trying to read the answers. Maniac over here. Okay, all right, so this is the first one. It's me describing this game as if it were on the back of the box, but also as if I wrote it while I was at work, so it's not that professional. You ready? This has been a lot of introduction for maybe not a lot of success. Okay, here we go. Game 1. Unravel the mystery surrounding the disappearance of your brother. Battle all manner of otherworldly beings in this survival horror masterpiece, where darkness lies behind every corner and the only light comes from inside. Conquer your fear, find your brother, and become a hero. This is the most brief of all of the descriptions. If you need to hear it again, let me know. Mike, do you have a guess?
Can you repeat it?
Sure I can. Unravel the mystery surrounding the disappearance of your brother. Battle all manner of otherworldly beings in this survival horror masterpiece, where darkness lies behind every corner and the only light comes from inside. Conquer your fear, find your brother, become a hero. I'm trying to be funny with the selection here, so just keep that in mind. Also, I haven't played this game.
I don't know. Soma?
Nope.
No.
They're ruining the game.
No, it's fine. I'll tell him he's wrong. It's fine. Okay.
Don't say who's wrong
Okay,
until
I
the
won't.
end.
Well, Mike's wrong, but I won't say it for the rest of you.
All right, Dylan, go.
I'm gonna say Silent Hill 1.
No.
No. Stop. You're ruining
I can't help it.
Complete idiot.
I
Give me
can't
the
help
paper
it.
and I'll do it.
No.
I don't know. I want to say what? Resident Evil 2? Don't fucking do that. I want to come over there and nail you in the mouth.
It's a trick question.
It's bad. You don't know how to write. Didn't you go to school for this, Chris?
No.
I'm gonna say. What are those stupid games?
I think
I know what it is now.
Fuck. I'm trying to. Oh man. Just came out on Wii U. Fatal Frame. I don't know.
no.
No?
It's a Mario game, isn't it?
It's Luigi's Mansion.
No!
Oh
It took me a second, and then I was like, wait a
no.
second.
Yeah, it was a joke. It was a joke.
It had to be about Luigi, but I didn't know any Luigi games because obviously here they're all terrible.
Okay.
And Steve, when you said Resident Evil 2, I was like, fuck, he's right, because in that game you are trying to...
Sorry,
find
I
your
literally
brother.
couldn't play by the rules of my own game.
Make sure you don't say no this time.
Yeah, my bad, guys. Okay, we'll try the next one. Maybe this one will be more successful.
It won't be.
Okay. Customize your character and choose your class in this zombie role-playing game. Where how you approach each of the game's potentially 700 plus challenging bosses is up to you. Use a sword and shield for a plottingly frustrating grind. Dual wield daggers for lightweight dive rolls off of cliffs and into the arms of your enemies, or play as a magic user and never die or suffer any consequences for your mistakes and defeat the purpose of the carefully designed levels. With a rich, engaging story that no one knows anything about, this game will have you asking, "Do I hate myself?" To which it will answer for you, "Yes, you colossal nerd, you do."
Dark Souls?
That's correct. You got it right.
I mean,
Am I supposed to let you all answer?
Yes.
Yeah.
We've been saying that. Since
Here's how it
before.
goes. You ask the question.
We all
Mike says his
answer.
answer. Dylan says his answer. I
Then-
say my answer. Joe says his
then
answer.
you
and
say the correct
what the
answer.
game is.
Right.
You don't
'Cause
say,
if
no,
you-
you're wrong. No, you're wrong.
Right, because
And
by
then
the
it's
time it
like,
gets to me, I'm not playing the game.
what happens if you throw a really good one in there, which is not going
Right.
to be?
When I was
And it tricks
designing
all
this
of
game,
us.
I just figured everybody would just try to figure it out together. So I'm just a little confused.
Chris,
Yeah.
do you like video games?
Yeah, they're okay. Guys, I've had a couple things to drink, all right? I'm not on top form.
It's alright, we really do care.
We really do care.
We
All right,
really
what
do.
should I do next? I'm losing confidence by the second.
Please
It's just-
don't.
I'm
I
plummeting.
like this game.
Okay.
Not in the game, but in your hosting abilities, you should be losing confidence in.
Steve, stop.
Steve, you're not helping. Okay. Next one. Next one. And I'm just gonna not react to anybody. Okay.
That's the point.
The butt pounding action you know and love is back and better than ever. Explore fungal infested 3D environments in the return of gaming's most lovable hero. Is there a party going on outside the door? In the return of gaming's most lovable hero, thrust yourself against walls and dive pelvis first into the fine art collection of your most hated enemy and rival. Although in the past the two of you have put aside your differences for more lighthearted activities, this time it's personal. If you need to hear it again, I'll read it again because I got distracted while reading it.
One more.
Okay, here we go. The butt pounding action you know and love is back and better than ever. Explore fungal infested 3D environments in the return of gaming's most lovable hero. Thrust yourself against walls and dive pelvis first into the fine art collection of your most hated enemy and rival. Although in the past The two of you have put aside your differences for more lighthearted activities. This time, it's personal.
Go, Michael. Oh, Joe, you already gave up.
I'm just moving the mic from Chris so he doesn't say anything.
Sonic and Knuckles.
Mario 64.
Yep.
Bloodborne.
Mario 64.
Tony Hawk's American Wasteland.
It was Mario 64.
Yeah, I know. I wanted to be funny.
Fuck you, Steve. You got it wrong.
Yeah, on purpose.
How about if you get it
I knew it
wrong?
was Mario
You're
the
out.
first time. I didn't need to repeat it, but I wanted to make a funny joke. That's
Yeah,
what I was debating about the whole time.
because you throw yourself into the paintings.
Yeah, right. If you when you said that at first, I was like, wait, Ocarina of Time, like destroying the vases, but no.
Let's see, what do I got here?
If you know it and then someone else says it, say something funny.
That's what I was thinking.
Because we're supposed to be funny. That's the only reason people like us.
Yeah, we're not very smart.
We're not smart. Yeah.
Okay,
We're not
you ready?
good-looking. I mean, Steve.
I don't know if I don't know if everybody will get this, but I will tell you that. Yikes! My hair is. I'm getting so sweaty because I'm nervous.
You're turning red.
Dude, I read a fucking ad, like a old British lady.
True. It's true. All right. So I brought this up on the podcast before, but I don't know how many of you will know it. Someone probably will.
Skip.
Okay. Play as a hot, wet athlete who lives. Play as a hot, wet athlete who leaves his life of hot, wet sports balls to hang out with a girl who talks to ghosts and a ragtag group of friends on a wacky religious adventure that proves family is what you make of it. Level up, unlock cool weapons, have a hot, wet makeout, and enjoy the story that will leave you sad, confused, and basically a glorified whaler for God. Whaler for God.
Mike?
GTA 5.
Nailed it. That's it.
Final Fantasy X.
Final Fantasy 3.
It's definitely Final
It's
Fantasy.
10,
I'm gonna
yeah.
say 1.
Nope, it's 10.
It was right?
Well
That's
done.
correct. It's 10.
Well,
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, hot, wet athletes. Whalers for God. Because your dad's a whale, and you have to kill him.
Yeah, at one point, like, I never...
Football.
Yeah, I never, like, I played it, but never beat that game. But as soon as you said, like, wet sports body or whatever, and then you said something that was like, oh, wait, this must be Final Fantasy. So, yeah, boom. 2 out of 3. Suck it.
This one's poorly written because I, like...
This one?
Yeah. Whoa. All right, I'm going to read it. I'm going to read this one. This one's kind of a hot take, as Joe would say. Sometimes, no matter how fast you run, you cannot run your past, overrated game design, or the community of furries you've created. Collect engagement rings for those legions of furries in this high-flying, side-scrolling dash to sadness. With a bad attitude, a new pair of sneakers, and a game that isn't as good as everyone thinks it is, do you have what it takes to save your company? The answer is no. This one's a little bit more abstract.
Easy.
It is really easy.
Michael?
I'm going Sonic again.
I really don't know. So, I'm going to say Pulp Fiction.
Great
I want to say, I agree with Mike, but I think it's Sonic and Knuckles. Because that one was better.
Yeah, it's definitely Sonic because he said rings.
And furries.
I'm gonna go. Yeah, true, and furries. Sonic 2.
Yeah, it's Sonic 2. Good enough. Sonic, accept that answer.
Hey, that game is great.
Those games don't hold up quite
buddy.
like people think they do.
I don't know, man.
I agree, Chris.
I disagree. I played that game in my youth, and I played it a year ago, and I still think
Are we
it's...
having a Sonic versus
great.
Mario debate right now, Dylan?
No. Who said shit about Mario? You just...
I did, motherfucker.
Well, fuck you. Keep it yourself.
He's about to look at him up there. He's about to throw that fireball.
They had a whole Olympics together.
yeah, and Mario won.
We can all
What?
agree Sonic 2.
My apologies to any furries who
I
might be
mean,
listening.
By far.
If they really competed in the Olympic Games, we know who would win, and it ain't Mario.
Why
you
would
know
it
what?
be Mario? Mario's a fat plumber, and Sonic...
Yeah, but he's super acrobatic and does flips.
He would lose every race.
Yeah, Steve. There's more than just races in the Olympics.
There's
all
a
about
lot of
teamwork.
races in the Olympics.
How many sports does Sonic play? Mario plays fucking all of them.
Mario would win the shot put for sure.
He would win hockey. He would win whatever. Is there soccer in the Olympics?
No, there's the World
Yeah.
Cup.
He'd win the World Cup.
Soccer.
There's definitely a soccer in the Olympics.
He'd win tennis. He's a fucking athlete, and everyone just pins him as this fat Italian.
Sonic
He's a fat Italian.
sports games, isn't there?
He's a fat Italian
Racing
athlete.
would be interesting.
What?
Like car racing.
No, I think he would win because Mario Kart is far better than Sonic All-Star Racers, Steve.
I don't know. No,
What do you mean you
I've never
don't
even played it.
know?
I was just joking, dude.
And then you got Diddy Kong. He's like, "What about me?"
And then you're like, well, obviously your racing game is the best, Diddy.
Yeah, that's
You don't need
just,
to complete. We
that-
all know this.
as Chris would say, is a hot take, Steve, but it's just not true.
It is true.
No, it's
Diddy
not.
Kong Racing is 1,000 times better than Mario Kart.
You're on drugs,
I'm a pretty
my
big
friend.
fan of Diddy Kong Racing myself, but
Lay
I
off
haven't
the
played
buff
it
out,
since I was a
Steve.
kid.
Lay off the buff out.
You guys ready for the next question?
Tweaking your brain. Yeah, go ahead.
Is this how is audience? How is this going? Good. All right. Let's see. I'll do this one. Okay. Play as a kid living in a town full of other kids. There are no parents. Nobody seems to worry about it. But one day, one of the rich kids in a nearby town gets kidnapped or is harassed by a time-traveling pedophile. Answer the call of destiny and become a child inside of a man's body. With your new engorged flesh, that was an inappropriate way to describe that, you must rescue the rich kid, stop the time-traveling pedophile, and save the world by solving puzzles, changing outfits, and functioning as what is essentially a one-man magical band.
Mike?
I have no idea.
I don't know. Alan Wake.
Do you want to read it again?
Ocarina of Time.
Streets of Rage.
Steve was right. It's Ocarina of Time.
Oh shit! Oh,
And
can you
time-traveling pedophile.
yeah,
want me to
read that again now that I know.
Okay.
That was smart.
Play as a kid living in a town full of other kids. There are no parents and nobody seems to care. But one day, one of the rich kids in a nearby town gets kidnapped or is harassed, I don't remember, by a time-traveling pedophile. Answer the call of destiny and become a child trapped inside of a man's body. With your new engorged flesh, you must rescue the rich kid, stop the time-traveling pedophile, and save the world by solving puzzles, changing outfits, and functioning as what is essentially a one-man magical band.
So the rich kid is Zelda.
Zelda.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
She just runs away. She doesn't get kidnapped.
Right, okay. I knew that I wrote kidnapped initially, and then I went back the second time, and I was like, I don't think that's what happens. So I'm going to put
She
harassed.
does, kind of, but not when she's a child.
Steve, I think you know this one, so like you can't. I'm sorry.
So say a Tony Hawk game.
So say a Tony Hawk game, but make it a good one. In this moody thriller, you play as 4 depressing characters: bad dad turned sad dad, ready to overcome obstacles both mental and physical to become a rad dad. That's character number 1. Character number 2, a poor man's fox mulder who's addicted to drugs and struggling with his secret French accent. That's character number 2. Character number 3, a private detective, ready to succumb to diabetes at literally any moment. And number 4, a woman who I think is just mostly used as a love interest because that's gaming for you. That's what I wrote here. I wrote a joke into my thing. Band together and use your combined sadness to overcome the bad thing. If you need to hear it again without me interrupting myself.
Pretty sure I know this one.
Well, I don't. So, Dylan.
Red Dead Redemption, maybe.
I can't think of a funny Tony Hawk to say.
Heavy Rain?
That's correct.
Figured.
It's Heavy Rain.
Oh
Want
yeah.
to read it again? In this moody thriller, you play as 4 depressing characters: bad dad turned sad dad, ready to overcome obstacles both mental and physical to become a rad dad.
Jason.
That's all. Yeah. That's. Do I have any more? Because I was skipping around. Yes, I do. I don't know if you're gonna be able to get this one though. We'll try it anyway. Experience a magical adventure in this whimsical, lighthearted game. Your mom died and it's your fault. So now you must become a wizard and defeat a dark wizard whose name no one wants to say, but whose dark heart is actually one half of your own soul or something like that. All the while collecting friends and doing favors with your wand for cats, fairies, and inappropriately large men.
Wind Waker.
Harry Potter.
Yeah, Harry Potter. I was going to say that too.
Sounds like Harry Potter.
It does sound like Harry Potter. It's Ni no Kuni, which is the Studio Ghibli JRPG that is a Harry Potter.
Wow.
So they tripped up Harry Potter.
They did. That's what I was drawing attention
I
to.
mean,
with
your
this.
Harry's scar is actually 1/7 of Voldemort's
Sure,
soul,
sure.
but it's Tom Riddle's soul. I mean,
Also, like probably spoilers for Nino Kuni.
F 'em. I have one more. So I might as well just read it, right?
hell yeah.
We've fallen this far into the hole.
I like this game.
Okay. I hope it's likable for the listeners.
I hope they're playing along.
I hope they're playing
Play
along.
with
Okay.
yourself.
This one, I guess it could certainly be more than one. You might think like, okay, that could be more than one game, but hopefully I will have keyed you into what it really is. Covered in sweat, sin, and sewer grime, you're sprung from jail and unleashed on an unsuspecting populace. Travel in a new open-world environment filled with endless things to do. Steal your transportation. Align yourself with rival organizations. Get rich or die trying. or just obey the law like a nerd and miss out on hours of fun to be had. Featuring all kinds of freaky characters who repeat the same lines again and again, you'll find yourself shockingly tolerant thanks to the refined gameplay mechanics. Gone are the stiff animations of yesteryear, allowing you to fully become the criminal scum you were meant to be.
This is super easy. I'm gonna go Skyrim.
Close.
I'm gonna say it was the Elder Scrolls 4 Oblivion.
I would agree with the Elder Scrolls 4 Oblivion.
Yeah, Tony Hawk's Underground.
Oh, Joe, god damn it, you got it right.
It is Oblivion. I mean, Skyrim's a fair enough
It's over there,
answer.
Colonel.
Once you
Start
said
in the sewer.
escape jail and the open world, I think
Well,
it
the minute the sewer started.
Yeah, I was trying to make it sound like GTA 3, but I don't really remember GTA 3 that well, so.
You get into a car wreck with 8 Ball or whatever the fuck his
You're
name is.
escaping prison, right?
Yeah. Well, no. Yes.
My hands are all
Wow.
messed up.
You gotta
Take it
drive,
around,
brother.
But doesn't Skyrim start with you breaking out of jail too, or am
So
I
does
just?
Morrowind and Daggerfall
Okay.
and Arena.
Yeah.
Thanks, Dylan.
Yeah, but Oblivion starts off in a sewer.
Yeah.
That's what.
Well, you escape through the sewer. You also
I forgot that there was people listening to us, technically, on podcast form right now.
On
Well,
what?
we did all that.
Wait, what?
Yeah. This is for you, audience. Yeah.
yeah.
Sorry. People are being super loud in the other room, and I can hear it on my headphones. So, listener, I'm sorry. It won't happen next week, but
Listener, seriously, please.
please
We
don't.
really do care.
We
Just-
really do.
We really do care.
We're trying to get
recording
some-
this, like,
some
what,
packs
3 days
media
after
thing.
our last episode?
Yeah.
So we didn't have a ton to talk about.
You just burped right in my face.
I didn't burp. I exhaled into your face. This is why I shouldn't drink on the podcast.
I got a question.
What's up,
what
Mike?
platform are you guys playing Fallout on?
I'm on PS4.
How's the performance?
It's fine. Load times stink, but besides from my initial issues of crashes and burns, yeah, other than like fast traveling or going out into the main world where the load times stink, everything else has been fine. I mean, but again, I don't really notice because I don't know any better. So
I'm also on PS4. I didn't notice very bad load times, probably because I'm coming directly from The Witcher 3, where the load times are absolutely abysmal. But I noticed a lot of frame rate drops indoors, especially in like more cluttered environments, which they're more like hiccups. I mean, I think the game runs at 30 anyway on PS4, so sometimes you drop down to like 20. It seems like for a brief moment. Yeah, it's 2015, but it is still like Chris said, the creation engine's still like 5 years old. So
It's better than on Xbox One, which drops down to 0 FPS sometimes.
I haven't heard anything about that because I don't know. I
Wait,
haven't played it.
what?
Yeah, there's like issues with the Xbox One version where I think it's like you're aiming, or sometimes if you aim, it'll just drop down to 0 FPS. So you'll just be like,
How?
A picture.
How? I just don't even understand how they can't get that game to run at higher FPS.
I don't know.
I think they did it on purpose. I don't think they didn't want it to be 60. I think they were like 30 will be, because I found out the Destiny runs on 30 because that's how they want it to be. They could make it 60, but it's like supposed to be slower paced. I think that's what they wanted with probably with Fallout 2.
It's so weird to me.
It is, but I don't think it was an accident. It was on purpose.
If they can get The Witcher to run steadily 30 FPS and Fallout can't, that's ridiculous.
Especially on an old ass engine, you figure a newer console would be able to handle it like a lot easier.
Yeah, but I think a game like Fallout and The Witcher are better candidates for like a 30 FPS, whereas like Phantom Pain is 60 FPS, and it's very, I don't know, the gameplay lends itself to like.
Phantom Pain plays at 60 on PS4.
I believe so. Yeah, mine does it, Chris? Do you know for sure?
yeah, definitely.
I think it does. It does.
It's a Fox engine, of course it does.
Because well, again, this is the first game in that engine. You know what I mean? This is like. It was built for the PS4.
The first Metal
specifically.
Gear game or the first actual game?
The first Metal Gear game. Or
I think the
any
only
game.
other thing using it was P2.
Oh yeah, PT was too. So
Ground Zeroes, but that's MGS5.
yeah,
You know?
but I feel like since the stealth gameplay is much more it's a lot more. Shut the fuck up, Tara. it's I don't know. There's a lot more to pay attention to because you don't have something like VATS or like in The Witcher 3 you don't have like. Actually, I don't know. I might be talking out of my ass because in The Witcher 3 the combat can get really clunky when it starts getting like inside a cave.
You also played on PS4. Mike's played on PC, so it'll be different for him anyway.
Oh yeah, you're playing both on PC.
Yeah, and whatever I can play on PC, I play on the PC. I'm completely spoiled.
Yeah, right.
Anything under 60 to me is like a slideshow now. It's kind of pathetic, really.
No, I know how that is because I played on PC forever, and I used to get World of Warcraft to run at 60 FPS, and like
If you aren't running WoW at 60 FPS, you're not playing WoW.
Yeah, but if there's a game where it doesn't fucking matter what the frame rate is, it's WoW.
I know, but I feel like it's once you get to 60 FPS in WoW and you have to downgrade or go to a different rig, it's devastating.
It was never 60 FPS when we did PvP, though. That'd be impossible.
Yeah, because of other people's connection and shit. Yeah.
When we played WoW and I was playing on my laptop back in the day,
Oh my god.
I would literally, when we were doing like a 25-man raid or whatever, I would,
Jump to,
I
like,
would- and I was a
5.
healer. I was healing on my paladin, and in order to effectively play, I had to turn around and not face the action, like just face like a completely
Just look at the interfaces.
And basically, I was using like grid. You guys remember the add-on
Yep.
grid? I was just looking at grid and clicking on names to heal while not watching anything that was going on in the raid, just to keep my frame rates above like 10.
Yeah, I remember I got my first graphics card and just like threw it in my fucking Dell computer. Like I had no idea if it'd be compatible. I
Was
just
it?
like
it was a Dell.
whatever the fuck it was.
Because if it was a Dell, it definitely wouldn't work.
Oh,
Dell
really?
only uses it can
Integrated?
only run with integrated. Yeah.
Well, maybe it was like a HP or
Well, you
something.
can buy graphics cards for Dells, but it has to be from Dell, and they're way more expensive.
Well, yeah, it was probably
I know
HP.
Chris had to do it.
And
Sure
I,
did.
dude,
I-
I threw it in, and I was just like, "This is fucking
Yeah, I'm
incredible."
glad that I never like got that like as Mike's bad was, but mine never ran like I don't think it's 60.
Yeah, I had the laptop I had before my first like actual gaming PC wasn't as bad as his either. It would run at like 25, 30, but I didn't have to like not face the rate.
Yeah.
Like that, it's a little ridiculous.
As far as Fallout 4 goes, frame rate is hardly the reason you should want to play it on PC. If you're playing on console, you're getting about 75% of what you could be getting out of that game.
Yeah.
Because mods are going to make that game playable for the
my-
next 10 years.
Yeah.
You can still play it fucking Morrowind with mods, and it's great. There's the Morrow Oblivion mod, which runs Morrowind through the Oblivion engine.
Right.
And so I can't wait.
They do that for Skyrim too.
I was just about to say, I can't wait for Sky Oblivion whenever that shit comes out. That's what it's called.
Sky Oblivion.
No, it's called Skywind.
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 Skyblivion.
They're making Morrowind in the Sky.
Well, there was that.
They're doing the same.
There was that area off the beaten path. You can like it's over a mountain. You find another road, and there's like an archway. And you just can't walk through it. So you can't go beyond this. But if the code guys like could go into it, they could go through, and you
Hashtag code.
you see like a miniature version of Cyrodiil and like the Imperial City. Like all that stuff was rendered, and I don't know if that was just for like geography purposes, so that everything would like make sense.
I think so.
But yeah, it always made me think like, oh, are you gonna get to go to Cyrodiil at some point in the game?
There's some like really, I wish I could remember it. If my phone wasn't dead, I'd look it up. At some certain point, you can see Vardenfell, and there's some sort of like smoke coming up from it. Obviously, the Vardenfell exploded, and you can't live there anymore. But there's something like the heart of Kinnereth was what was like in the bottom of what's it called of
The volcano?
yeah exactly. And there's some sort of like very esoteric lore connection there that I apologize that I can't like recall right now, but I think they did a lot of that stuff just to have the. Don't judge me, Steve.
You're letting us down, Dylan.
Well,
You're the lore guy here.
I am the lore guy. I'll look it up. I'll have it for next week. I promise.
Dylan, so sorry to interrupt you.
No,
but
it's fine.
I was thinking of maybe playing a slightly more successful game with you guys where you have to answer A, B, or C.
I thought that was successful.
I was
but
going
go ahead.
to. Okay, that's
I
good.
mean, after the flubs at the beginning,
Yeah.
you were just not.
Well,
getting
I'm like
the
an adorable
rules.
puppy that I just can't get it right.
Well,
A
No, I don't
stubborn
believe any of
stubborn puppy.
yeah, I guess that's better.
Okay. I was thinking I would name three things, or I would name two things that happened in a JRPG.
Oh,
Two
yeah.
ridiculous things that happened in a JRPG, and then one thing that doesn't, that I just made up, and you guys would have to guess which one was made up. And that would be the trick. You should do something like, two things that happened in Elder Scrolls lore and one thing that you made up.
Okay, I'll definitely do that.
Because, I don't know, just, spice it up a little bit.
No,
Keep
that's
people
a
on
good
their
idea.
toes when they come into the podcast room.
I'll try to have
like
that for next week.
Chomp Chain Superfan, Mike.
Mike. Hell yeah. No, I mean, I don't know. I think that whatever this next engine is going to be for the next Elder Scrolls, that's what I'm like putting my all my faith into.
Hopefully at that point, or at the point that Fallout 4 went into like development, the Skyrim team, or I don't know how these things work, but hopefully they started working on a new engine. and then they would make their Elder Scrolls, and they would milk it for one last game, and that's fine. But they can't come out in 4 years. They can't come out with an Elder Scrolls that's still in this engine. You know what I mean?
Do you think it's really going to be a new engine, like an entirely new engine, or do you
hope
think
so.
it'll just be an updated version
Well,
of the creation engine?
I'm not an engine doctor, Mike.
I think it'll be a new engine because they already upgraded the creation engine from Gamebryo, which was the one that Oblivion was running in, and Fallout 3. So I think that at this point, the way that open world RPG video games are looking in the market, they're going to have to do something a lot different this time around. I think like Chris was saying, they can get away with it with Fallout 4 because Fallout 4 is a badass game, and it doesn't exactly call for for all the complaints I had. I don't think that it calls for a new engine per se.
Right.
Like I think that they could have maybe tweaked certain things within this engine to make it more playable from like a role player's perspective, but that's obviously stuff that they left out on purpose. And I think that they're probably going to try to make a distinction now between Fallout and the Elder Scrolls, because Fallout 3 was extremely similar to Oblivion. Just like
It was Oblivion with guns.
in every way. Yeah. And I think that Fallout 4 is significantly different from Skyrim. And
Definitely.
it's definitely a lot more action based, which is what I think they're going for. And
It's the Resident Evil 4 of the series.
right. And this actually, I actually had this question now that everyone's back in the room. Bethesda and Obsidian in the past have talked about how they want to continue their relationship through Fallout. So my question to you guys is, it's threefold or twofold if you want. Do you think that they're Obsidian will make a new Elder Scrolls game? I'm sorry, a new Fallout game. Do you want them to, and see if they did, where do you think it would be set?
So it's quite possible. That's money. That's money on the table. And they did it before. New Vegas, despite our complaints, was a successful game, and it scored fairly well. It wasn't Fallout 3 scores, but it did well. And there's no reason, if they want to go back to it, why they shouldn't be able to. I don't know how much I would want one. I personally feel slightly overwhelmed by gigantic games. I've played 4 of them this year, so it's tough. But as far as setting goes, I think I would be interested if the setting would have to be what attracted me to it. Not just more Fallout, but I would want something different, like a different type of environment, something that's maybe, I don't know, like off in the mountains. The whole thing is in a mountain setting, and so there's not as much city stuff going on, but there's more the Fallout wilderness. It would have to be something that has enough of a different take on it to make me want to go back, because I'm not in high school anymore, and I don't have infinite time like I did before. I could pour a ton of time into Fallout 3. I could pour a ton of time into Skyrim, New Vegas, whatever it was, all these big open world games. I had the time for it. Now, not so much. So, yeah, it would have to be something different enough to attract me to it. And I don't know what other countries are like in the Fallout universe.
Nobody does.
Because I would even say, I don't know if that's like breaking canon for certain people to like, or if people wouldn't like it if it took place in a different country, but it can give you a very, very different like vibe,
Did Obsidian use the creation engine on New Vegas?
No, that's
No.
Gamebryo.
Okay.
I think the only country that we would know would be shitty would be China.
Mm-hmm.
No one else was in the war besides U.S. and China, I'm pretty sure. So we can go to Canada, but
I would want it because it's a Fallout game. Obviously, I'm not going to be opposed to it, but I'd rather Bethesda make it. Honestly, I'm still going to play it, and I want it to be in Japan.
Well, the thing is that the thing is though that they're obviously, or not obviously, but pretty much obviously working on a new Elder Scrolls. That's what that team.
right. It's a
is
stop.
doing.
It'll be just a stopgap until
Just like New
Bethesda,
Vegas was.
exactly. Which, you know what? For New Vegas fans, I'm sure they'll be thrilled. They'll probably like the changes. Hopefully, even for diehard Fallout 3 and 4 fans, they'll also like the changes. I can guarantee you they're both going to buy the game because it's a Fallout game. Is it going to be Fallout 5 or is it going to be Fallout 4?
wouldn't be
Fallout
Fallout
Japan.
5.
You know what I mean? Like,
They've already said it wouldn't be Fallout 5 or anything. It would be Fallout subtitle or like New Vegas 2 or something like that.
see, I wouldn't want New Vegas.
So
too.
you'd want Japan?
yeah, definitely.
That'd be sick.
100%. If I'm not talking like lore based because
No, Fantasyland.
yeah, because like you said,
Fantasy
it's
furniture.
China and it's the U.S. I don't know. China would be different than Japan. I feel like Japan is way more interesting. China's kind of like closed off and weird.
Well, this is also
a different universe,
different timeline. China.
Yeah, I know, but still,
I'm sure.
I'd want Japan. I think it would be really cool.
I don't know, Steve.
I mean, I'm sure they will probably make another one. That was interesting. If they can, I don't care. I probably won't play it.
You'll get it.
No, I won't.
Yeah,
Not
you will.
unless it.
You're
like,
full of shit,
I'll,
dude.
I got New Vegas. I will not play another Obsidian
You
Fallout.
really hated that.
It was
much?
awful. It ruined. Like I got so excited for that game. You don't know how excited I was for that.
I
Fallout.
do.
We were
because
there
we went to the
midnight
midnight
launch,
launch. We all
Yeah.
went.
No, I didn't.
And
get
you
it,
talked
did I?
about it for a while. I think you
Yeah.
did like it at first.
I liked
Me?
it at first.
No,
No,
Steve.
me. And then
Steve
it
did.
just ruined. Like that game ruined that like itself for me. And
See-
I will not. I sold that game and I got it with. So I got the Fallout anthology. And I was like, oh, maybe I'll replay it. I won't. I won't.
I
never
don't.
replay
I don't
that
want to
game.
give people the wrong idea. I like Fallout New Vegas. It's a good game. I just think Fallout 3 is fucking far superior. And if you're gonna pick between the two, you should definitely play Fallout 3. But I don't think Fallout New Vegas is bad. I don't think it's bad at all. It's just there are
Thing
things.
is, it's not even necessary to argue these points anymore because Fallout 4 is out.
I know, but it's still a fun
get it.
debate
I
to
get
have
it, yeah.
because I've met people or I know of people that really love New Vegas and I know of people that fucking hate it. And the people that hate it are always so funny. Like, why is it so much worse than Fallout 3? Like,
High expectations.
I can see why Fallout 3 is a better
I'm not
game,
saying
but
it's-
why is it so
It's
bad?
not worse. I'm not saying it. I mean, it's the worst game. It
So you're not
was
even
to me.
You're not even really comparing the two.
No, it wasn't. I mean, there were some things I didn't like about it. Obviously, the commerce system. I didn't like any of the factions. That was a big problem for me. I didn't like any of the characters really, and it was just so buggy that it ruined the game for me.
I can
have
see
nothing.
that.
I have nothing against. If you like it, that's fine. I'm just don't like it, and I won't play another Obsidian one because I got burned too hard on New Vegas. And to answer the other part of it, it's going to be somewhere out on the West Coast because Obsidian seems to do the more traditional Fallout ones,
Right.
You're right.
like California or Nevada or like Utah or something.
Maybe like Seattle.
Mike, what do you think?
Well, I just wanted to
random the whole
ask
time.
Steve what his deep-seated hatred for New Vegas was, but he just answered it. So
It's just
thanks.
buggy.
So would you? But as someone who's only played Fallout 4 and only knows things about New Vegas through hearsay, would you at least be interested in the title or pick it up?
Well, I've played a few hours of New Vegas, and I mean I didn't stop because I didn't like it. I just stopped because I picked it up so late and there was other stuff that I wanted to play at the time. But honestly, the few hours I played, I remembered having fun. So I mean, I would even consider going back to it at some point if I had time. You know.
Dylan, we were talking about this before you got here off mic. What's the name of the town in New Vegas that's like super fucking rough where the Kings hang out? You remember?
It's not a town. It's like the.
It's like a little
the
community.
Far side. I almost want to say.
Something like,
yeah, maybe it is.
I think it's
Farside.
Far Side, and then that's the outskirts of New Vegas.
Yeah, exactly. And you can get like robbed randomly and like jailed.
Yeah, you can get jacked up, and
Yeah.
and you can like. There's a lot of little things in there. Like, if you kill all the free side, is it? I'm gonna look it up.
Freeside.
I think it's free
That
side.
is what it is. Yeah.
If you kill enough like free side gang members, certain like store owners within Freeside will start giving you discounts, and
The more I think about that game, the more I actually did really enjoy it.
I don't know, man. I'd say you have the capability to mod the shit out of it.
Yeah.
If you ever get burnt out on, not that you will, but if you ever feel like taking a break from 4, just get that in. Like,
I played
the client.
some of the expansions for New Vegas, and they were really fun.
Yeah, I loved the Lonesome Road one because that filled, oddly enough, it filled in the character's backstory, which is kind of cool because like he has amnesia, and if you have your own already made up, and it can be contradictory to it.
Yeah.
But it was really cool because it was meant to take place like after the ending of the game.
What's the one where you wake up in some weird like alien facility and you're missing your kidneys and like?
That's in 3. That's Mothership Zeta.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I think so.
All right. I didn't.
Point
know.
Lookout is one of my favorite DLCs of all time.
Is that the
for Fallout 3?
yes? When you're like
You go to the
a
island.
simulation or whatever.
And no. You go to an island.
No, that's Operation Name.
And it's like
Anchorage,
in a bayou in some place in America. But it's all just like mutated freaks and looks like these like inbred weirdos from horror movies just like hanging out at their houses, and they see you and they're like, "God damn, we're gonna kill you. We're gonna put you down. We're gonna shoot you with the guns." They don't sound like that, but it's like it's really scary. And there's a ghoul living in a mansion, and he's like, "Come help me." He doesn't sound like that either. And then there's a cult, and they take a piece of your brain out, and like, "We're gonna take a piece of your brain." And they don't sound like that, but you know, It's really great. It's very moody. It's a great set piece.
Yeah.
And it's just this one contained island that looks like a horror movie all the time. It was honestly one of my favorite parts of Fallout 3.
That's awesome.
Tenpenny Tower in Fallout 3.
Oh, good stuff, man.
So good.
Haven't been in there
so
yet.
good.
Oh,
Fallout 3.
Fallout
excuse me.
3. Haven't
Excuse me.
been there yet?
Excuse
Oh
me.
my
Joe?
God.
Joe?
What?
Excuse me.
He was right on top of me. Yeah, Tenpenny Tower was sweet.
I think the DLC for both games were really good. There were some, like, I think, it was in New Vegas called Honest Hearts, which is really, really cool. You go to Utah, like you were saying, Steve. Like, you go to Zion National Park, and there's all kinds of cool new mutated animals and stuff like that you see. There's tribal people who have been living there who have, like, they have guns and stuff, but they're removed from society, like any society. So that's really interesting. But as far as an Obsidian title goes, I think it's obvious that I would want it and I would play it and I would buy it at fucking midnight. I think that if
Digital or physical?
Huh? At this point, probably digital. I don't care anymore. But I think that if they did do it, and I think that this is why there's almost definitely going to be a new one. They're going to do it in the Boneyard, which is LA, because that was the setting for Fallout 1, I believe. You go from your vault needs like a water treatment ship, and then you go into the Boneyard to find it.
Played Fallout 1 with you.
Did you?
Yeah.
When we got Calvin's party got busted up by
Yeah.
the cops. And
Yeah.
that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Three of us got to leave because we weren't drinking.
Yeah. So that
I didn't get to leave.
I told the cop, I was like, hey man, like I wasn't drinking, like, because we were all underage at the time, and we legitimately were. Dylan, Steve, and I weren't drinking, and the cop was taking everybody's information, and I told him I wasn't drinking. I was like, is there any way I could, like, get out, like, leave? I didn't say it
Suck a
like
dick
that.
or
I
something?
was like, is something I can do? Like, I was not drinking here, and then he didn't say anything to me for like a minute, and finally he looks up at me. He was like, go talk to my partner outside, or whoever, or the officer outside. I was like, okay. So I go and I walk outside, and you guys follow me out like a minute later. And as I'm walking out the door, the cop out there just was like, whoa, 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 whoa. As I'm just like a teenager. Like, I'm tall, but I'm not really intimidating. Like, I'm just this dude. And like, I just walk outside, and dude reaches for his gun and puts his hand out. I'm like, the officer outside told me to come talk to you guys because I haven't been drinking. And then this other lady came over and she was like, all right, I'll talk to you. And then the other dude was like, okay.
yeah.
Wait right there.
That
And then the
cop-
lady was like, all right, talk. And
I
she
know-
called our parents and like,
Yeah.
your sons were not drinking underage?
Like, so what do you
No,
want?
dude, the cop called my mom and was like, yeah, we just want to let you know that your son is at an underage party. And my mom was like, why the fuck are you calling me? I'm asleep. Like, do your fucking job. Go find criminals. Like, my mom gave the cop some shit. It was pretty cool.
I know the exact cop it was, too.
I don't.
And then we went and we played Fallout at your house. But yeah, that dude went to pull his gun on me.
Oh, look at you,
He was
man.
bored.
Because I wasn't drinking.
Yeah, exactly. Who's
Should have been drinking. Like,
Should be drinking. Look at this nerd.
But yeah,
I've been there. I know what you're doing back there.
I think that's sort of like the point of the Obsidian titles is to just keep the spirit of the old games alive. And like you said a while ago, Steve, I am the only one of us who has played them or like through. So I think that I just get a little bit more out of that, and I enjoy the setting of Fallout with the classic RPG like sensibilities that I think would be present in an Obsidian title.
Steve, you never beat New Vegas?
No, I got to the dam, I think with NCR because they were the only ones I could kind of stand. Walked outside of the dam to get to that final fight, and the game froze. And then I just went, okay, and then took the disc out and then never played it again.
That sucks, because that final fight was kick.
I had a similar thing. I wasn't that far in the game, but I had finished a quest that I think I've told it on here before. I was out of ammo and like just fucked, and I had to basically died over and over and over again. But I like just for some reason played for like 2.5 hours. Finally got through this area where I was just like fucked at a bad save state, and then the game crashed and I lost all that progress. And I was like, well, never playing this again.
Well, that was like after months of having not played it because I like this game. Like, I don't want to play this game anymore. And I was like, you know what? I haven't beaten it. I'm going to go back and beat it. Like, this was probably like 2 or 3 months after it had come out. And then I was like, it had to have fixed it by now, obviously. No. And then I was just like, all right, I'm done. Never playing this game again.
I honestly can't blame you. Like, I feel your pain. I do, and I'm lucky because I never experienced any bugs on a game that was infamous for being buggy on consoles. But there are just certain things about it that are so fucking charming. Like the companions that you can get. A lot of them have quests that you can only access if they're your companion. I don't think that's in 4. That's definitely not in 3. I don't think it's in 3.
Yes, it is in 4.
It is. It is in 4.
Yeah, I just did a companion quest with the companion I have.
After you got her as a companion.
Yes.
Oh, okay. So that's cool. I'd like that. But that's just like one of the many things that was charming to me about New Vegas was how like it seemed like what I wanted to do was almost always an option. That's something that was definitely lacking in 3, definitely lacking in Oblivion, and in a lot of ways it was lacking in Skyrim. So New Vegas is sort of that like saving grace, and it's almost weird because, or maybe it's not, because I love Bethesda like we all do. They make my favorite games, but they've always been my favorite games with the asterisk of that I want the mods with them. So I think I enjoy the sandbox that they create, but I like more what other people do with their creation. And for something like Obsidian to say, okay, we have access to all the tools that a Bethesda game would need, and here's our spin on it, I think that's what really draws me in. I'm not saying that Bethesda is bad at what they do or that they write bad stories, even though they're a little cheesy. They're a little bit.
Yeah, bread
They
and
all
butter.
rely on like really traditional, like family oriented fairy tale.
Fallout 3, you're
kind of
looking
shit.
for your dad.
You're looking for your dad.
Fallout
This one
4, you're looking for your son.
in Oblivion, you're looking for the Emperor's son. In Skyrim's a little different. Skyrim's cool, but like you're
Looking for, what's his name? Joffrey,
Joffrey at
played by
Wayne
Sean Bean, who's in Game of Thrones, where there's also a Joffrey.
Joffrey's
the dude has.
he has
It's
Martin.
Martin. Martin is Sean Bean. Joffrey is the dude with him. The old dude with the. Fucking idiot. Look at him.
He's at Wayne and Priory, dude.
Oh, we're making Game of Thrones reference that isn't actually real.
So I don't know.
There's like 7 degrees of Sean Bean.
Yeah, dude, and he fucking spoilers. He dies in that one too.
Yeah.
Dude dies in everything. So I think that New Vegas had that really kind of gritty backstory of you are a courier, you are very much a part of the world, you were not a vault dweller, and you got fucked over, and it's all about revenge if you want it to be, or you can just be like, well, I don't remember it, so I have nothing to be vengeful about. I think there was a lot there, and just like to see LA in like a 3D environment and all of like the surrounding areas. You're talking about mountains, like there's the whole. If you could go up to North California, it wouldn't be the entire game, but like you have like you'd be like in the wedge between two mountains. Like you'd have the valley, which is like where Los Angeles is, and then you probably can go up north toward something like Oregon or Washington State. So I think that the fact that the Boneyard is such a classic Fallout, it's like the very first Fallout big city. I think that it almost just makes way too much sense for the West Coast team to develop a game in that original setting.
It's an awesome name too.
Yeah, the Boneyard.
Fallout Boneyard.
Yeah, Fallout just called Fallout the Boneyard.
Yeah.
I think that would be fucking cool. And if they made a sequel to New Vegas and set it back in the Mojave, I would be fine with that because I loved that ending. I love the whole story. The only thing is they didn't canonize that ending. That's why Fallout 4 is set a few years before New Vegas, because they didn't want to say who took over the Hoover Dam, because that has serious implications for who controls that entire region.
Right.
So I don't think they're going to make a sequel to it. Although if they did, I'll be interested.
I'll tell you who took over control of the Hoover Dam.
Who's that?
I did by myself with nobody else.
You mean an army
They
of
were all
robots?
they were all trying to kill me. Every single fucking person there.
But you had an army of robots.
Yeah, true. Yeah. Well, I couldn't help that.
Well, yeah. Did you do that by accident? Because I did too.
Yeah, I had no idea what
That was
going
that was
on.
another thing that sucked about that.
That fight was just like chaos.
No, I had a high science skill, and I just convinced the robot guy to just join
Last
me.
motherfuckers?
I just
Yeah.
asked him, and he was like, "Sure," with their fucking smiley face. I love that, dude. All the what do they call like automatrons or something like that? They had just like cartoon faces,
Yeah.
based on their emotions. That was sweet. There was the lady in Mr. House's place.
Mr. House was a piece of shit.
He was a dickbag, but dude, he created Robco Industries. Like he's such like a central figure to that entire series.
Yeah, oh my god, yeah.
He's the only other character besides Ghouls and the Lone Wanderer who's what are you?
Soul Survivor.
Soul Survivor. Yeah. What's the Lone Wanderer? 3?
3, yeah.
Oh, whatever. Soul Survivor who are pre-war, I think.
So far. Like, I know at least.
Yeah, at least like as, main characters in the game. So I don't know.
Interesting.
I really hope that shit comes out in 2 years, if only just to pacify me until the Elder Scrolls 6, when I will quit my job, break up with my girlfriend,
I think
never
it'll-
talk to my mom again.
It'll come out before.
What about that new puppy you got?
Dude, that's not gonna be a puppy by the time that shit comes out.
True.
See
All
you
right,
later,
fuck it.
dog.
All right.
It's a wrap.
Is it really though? I mean,
Does
it's-
anyone have anything else to
Yeah,
say?
we're running. It's an hour and a half. I mean,
Yeah. No,
This is a wacky midweek episode.
yeah. It was very wacky. It was fun.
Recorded a mere few days. I know I already said that after our last one. So,
with a noisy environment in the background.
True.
Again, we apologize.
but
for that.
Chomp Chain superfan and special guest Mike here.
Woohoo! We want to thank Mike for joining us this week.
Thanks for being our third mic, Mike.
Yeah, we've been waiting to get a third mic in here for a while. So thank
Now
you.
we just need 4 mics.
Now we need another one.
Need a 4-channel mixer.
We'll have way better audio. Look
that's
forward
true.
to it, and however
No,
long
that-
it takes us to get.
That's definitely in the pipeline. We're gonna get there.
In the pipe.
We're in the pipe,
All right, guys.
and we're gonna get there, and it's gonna sound better. But we hope you enjoyed, and we hope you keep listening.
Yeah, thanks for listening. We really do care.
At Podcast Chomp on Twitter. We'll probably ask a question for next week's episode because we got away from that the past 2 weeks. So be prepared for that. Tell your friends, give us reviews, and
Tell your parents.
Tell your
Ask them
pa-
for permission.
tell your dad.
Chris, do you like video games?
Do you like?
Yeah.
Ask Chris on Twitter if you
Boy, I
like
like video games. Man.
Got a PSP?
Go to my Instagram.
Follow Chris on Instagram at Chris Mario. But seriously, thanks for listening.
Yeah. All right.
Peace. Say bye, Steve.
What a brat.